Today I'm going to show you a nice simple recipe for making calamari rings. That's right, we're going to fry up some squid. It's going to come out nice and crispy and taste really delicious. So the first step in this recipe is to clean our squid nice and well. Once we have it all cleaned up and cut into rings, I put it in a bowl and use 2 whole lemons. I just squeeze all the lemon juice out of them and make sure it gets all over the squid. It's really important to marinate the squid to help break it down so it won't be so chewy, and doing this will also add a nice flavor to it too. After all the squid has been soaked in the lemon juice, I'll go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator and let it marinate for a good 15 minutes. Now I'm ready to do my first coating. I'm going to add flour to a bowl. Then I add some garlic powder and add it to the flour. After that, I'm going to add some black pepper. Only about a tablespoon of black pepper is all you need, and then a couple tablespoons of paprika. And put that right on top of the flour. You're going to go ahead and blend this all together. With all the ingredients in the bowl, you want to go ahead and blend it really well. Use a spoon or a fork and just blend it really well. You want to make sure all the different ingredients are all blended together. You don't want little pockets of just pepper or paprika. You really want to mix it well together so when the squid goes in here, it gets all those great spices. Once it's all blended well, you're ready to go to the next step. In another bowl, I'll take 3 whole eggs and just whisk them all up so I can use that for a dip. After it's all whipped up, I'll drop the squid rings in here before it goes into the panko mix. So whip up the eggs really well, and then you'll use that as a step between the flour and the panko. Now you take your squid rings out of the lemon juice and put it right into your flour mix. Make sure that they're coated really well, and after that you're going to drop them one at a time into the egg. We'll drop that our egg wash, and then from there we'll put it into our panko mix. Don't try to do too many pieces at one time in the egg. It won't come out as well. When you're working with the calamari like this, you really want to do it in batches. Don't plan on doing it all at one time. Do about 6 to 12 pieces at a time, and then that'll be easy to handle. You do more than that, it gets too complicated. When you take the calamari and drop it from the lemon juice into the flour, it's really important that you get it covered really well. Once you have it covered really well, drop it into the egg, and that's going to work like a glue when you take it into the panko mix for the last step. You really need to get the calamari coated well before it ever gets to your fryer. Now you take the squid rings that have just been dropped in the egg and put it into the panko. You can toss it here if you want, or you can just use it with your hands. Sometimes I use a pair of thongs, and that works out good too. But you just want to get it coated really well. It's super important that all this calamari gets that good layer of panko mix on there before it ever makes it to your fryer. Make sure that it's coated really, really well. You don't want to put more than 4 or 5 pieces of the squid into the panko mix at a time. You want to get coated really well and then put it on another plate and stage it and get it ready to go into the fryer. You don't want to do it all at one time. Just do this in stages. It's very important that you get that panko mix over all the squid. You need to have that good coat of panko on there before you take it to the fryer. And that's how it all should look before you drop it into the deep fryer. All these rings of calamari look perfect and they're ready to go right into the fryer. You want to make sure you preheat your oil to 350 degrees before you drop the calamari into it. Make sure you drop the calamari away from you so you don't get oil on yourself. Again, don't do it all at one time. 5 or 6 pieces is plenty. Just do it in batches. And if you have your oil at the right heat, it's only going to take a minute or two before you flip it over and it'll be ready to go. You can see how beautifully nice and brown these pieces of squid are looking. This calamari is going to taste delicious. When you pull the calamari out of the hot oil, put it onto a plate with paper towel to suck up all the oil. You want to try to get as much of the oil off as you can. And then once you have all the calamari on the plate with the paper towel, this is the time that you want to add salt. If you put the salt on too early, it's just going to fry out in the hot oil. But when it's on the plate, it's a perfect time to just add that coat of salt to it and make it perfect for eating. The biggest mistake lots of people make when they're doing this is they try to put all the squid rings at one time. And you really can't do that. Just take your time, do it in batches, and it'll come out really good. When you take the calamari out of the oil, make sure you space them around on the plate with a paper towel. You want to try to absorb as much of the oil off the calamari as you can. And when it's on the plate, that's the perfect time to add that sea salt. Some fine sea salt sprinkled on top will bring out all the great flavors of the calamari. Well, this is the finished dish. You can see how beautiful it looks and it tastes even better. You can use a number of different dips to put it in. This is just a regular cocktail sauce that I like to use, and it tastes delicious too. Well, for more recipes, make sure you subscribe right here to my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you all soon.